All right. Welcome to the Village of North Hudson Public Works Committee meeting of Tuesday, February 24, 2026 at 5 p.m. Item number 1, call to order roll call. Dusty?
Here.
Brian? Here. Item number 2, review and approve the minutes from the Public Works meeting of January 20, 2026.
Move to approve minutes from January 20, 2026.
And I second. Any changes,
No.
corrections? All in favor of the minutes as posted, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Item 3, comments from the floor. This is an opportunity for the Village of North Hudson residents, property, business owners to make the board aware of topics, issues, opportunities not on tonight's agenda. So, nobody has anything additional other than what's coming? The Monroe Street? Okay, that takes us to item number 4, public involvement presentation for the Monroe Street North construction project. Kevin?
All right.
Kevin's our engineer.
All right. Well, as everybody's aware, we're in the public involvement process now with the Monroe Street project. So I did have a sign-in sheet. I do have exhibits of actually presentation that I'll go over. It's not going to take a tremendous amount of time, but after that, then I think we're going to open it up to any of the questions that some of the residents may have. And then ultimately, I think everybody's aware, the biggest discussion is probably which side the sidewalk should go on. I think the Public Works Committee is going to make a recommendation tonight between the two options that will be forwarded off to the village board for ratification. So I'll go ahead and get started. So this is our project team. We've got Gloria, village administrator, clerk. Gina, I'm sorry. Gina.
Gloria hasn't been here for a while, buddy.
Yeah, that's been a long time. Matt Howell, Director of Public Works, and then myself, project manager, which I'm also the village engineer for North Hudson, quite a few years. So basically, the purpose of our public involvement is to identify all the stakeholders which may be affected by the project and include them in the project development process. We'd like to get this in front of everybody since we're, starting to generate preliminary construction plans. This has DOT funding that's involved, and there's quite a process to go through with a number of reporting that goes along with these projects. Usually it's year and a half to 2 years before you're actually going to see some construction activities happening out on the site. Communication with concerned parties to understand expectations and address issues brought forth by the public and other stakeholders. Coordination with local officials and law enforcement to complete the projects safely and in accordance with community needs. I think everybody's aware we're right adjacent to the school here. There's been some things that have transpired with maybe some additional kids that are going to be coming this direction. So pick up and drop off, kind of a big thing nowadays, based on what Mark has witnessed out there. And the efforts includes holding a public meeting, develop necessary press releases, and sending letters to affected parties. So objectives, things that we'll be going through: project location, project need or purpose and need, existing facilities that we have out there, proposed improvements, what real estate impacts we'll have, whether that's grading or fee, where we actually have to purchase some property from affected property owners. Basically, it's going to end up being where the sidewalk ends up. There'll be a little bit of portion that we're going to have to look at acquiring some property for that. Project costs, project schedules, and then again, we'll open it up to any questions that you folks may have at the end. So project limits, we're looking at total reconstruction from Lemon Street to Helen Street. It's roughly 1,100 feet in length, 0.21 miles. One of the big requirements for applying for STP urban, it has to meet that classification, a collector street, so, you know, more traffic that's involved with these streets. There's a map that DOT sends out. They classify all the streets within the community, whether it's a local, collector, or arterial. This particular street's a collector. Right now, we have it estimated at an ADT, average daily traffic, at 500 vehicles per day. If any of you folks, but we have noticed, we do have a traffic counter out there now. We put it in roughly 2 weeks ago. So we'll have a better understanding of what we truly have for traffic. One of the big things we look at is, you know, truck traffic, which I wouldn't suspect there'll be a lot out here, but those items are used to come up with what the pavement design requirements are. You know, how much asphalt, how much base course, how much subdrake. So at the end of this meeting, I will actually be picking that up tonight, and we'll take it back to our office and download the information and kind of see where those numbers come out. Right now, as you all folks are aware, we have 2-foot or 12-foot asphalt lanes, basically a rural section. There's no curb and gutter. There's no storm sewer or sidewalk. Speed limit, 25 miles an hour. One thing to note with this section, it's only got a 50-foot right-of-way. Typically, a lot of the streets within the communities is a 66, so we have a little less of a footprint to try to fit in, you know, what our width of the street is going to be, and the biggest thing is the sidewalk that's going to go along with this. Land use, residential on the south side, a little bit on the northeast side of the project limits, institutional with the school, and then we have, you know, where the ball fields are out there currently. So the purpose, maintain effectively transportation system by addressing roadway deficiencies. There's a number of items here. Pavement deficiency, I did go back and look just out of curiosity, and it looks like the last time this road was ever repaved was in 1972. So we're over 50 years, which is pretty good, because typically you typically look for a 20-year service life on roads. You're very fortunate up here because you have very sandular subgrades. If you were in a clay situation, typically those roads just don't last as that long. So overall, you're doing pretty well on that. One of the things that we look at is that pacer rating. So this stretch is a 6 out of 10. We have to rate those every 2 years. 10 being a new street, all the way down to a 1. So in the spectrum, you're a 6, which still isn't terrible. Stormwater drainage, don't have any storm sewer. We would be looking at putting curb and gutter in your storm sewer underneath the road. Another thing that we look at when you're redoing the road is the sanitary sewer and water utilities. That's kind of where Kip steps into the picture, and it sounds like he's already televised the sanitary. It is clay tile, but overall it's in good shape. So one of the things when we look at that, instead of going in and tearing the piping all up, we would just do they call it a CIPP. It's a lining inside the main, and then once it's done, then we would come back, cut where your laterals are, so that your flow would continue out into the main itself. We've done that on a number of projects. So that, kind of thinking that's probably the way we're gonna end up going. Water utilities, the main itself, we think is a 6-inch main. It's kind of debatable if it's cast iron or ductile iron, but that's one of the things that we'll be analyzing. There might be a likelihood that that could get replaced. We know there's hydrant deficiencies out there. There's a certain spacing that fire departments require. I think there's only one mid-block. So, again, that is something that's a little unknown at this point, but there could be a potential that could get replaced. And then pedestrians and bicycle accommodations. You know, we got a sidewalk on Helen, we got a sidewalk on Lemon. So trying to connect those 2 points. You've got the ball fields in the area. So in part of the grant, that was what we were proposing. So either looking at putting one on the north side or the south side. There's pros and cons to each, but ultimately it's going to come down to the village board on which side they want to see, with some of the residents' input into that as well. This is just some photos of the existing condition out there, the intersection of Lemon and Monroe, and then what the pavement looks out there right now. We did have an OPM meeting. It's basically just kind of a kickoff meeting with the utility companies just to introduce it to them. And you can see there's, you know, some gas flags in here. It sounds like they redid those not terribly long ago. One of the outcomes from that meeting is they would prefer the sidewalk to be on the north side. So there isn't as many conflicts. And you can see in this area, I mean, there are a number of trees that are right up against the pavement. So there is going to be some kind of tree impacts with the project, whether it is on the north or on the south. There'll be some impacts from that. Just a picture on the south side, you know, noting lack of pedestrian accommodations, and then, you know, the ball fields on the north side itself. Proposed improvements, so total reconstruct, tear up the asphalt, take the base course that's out, regrade it, bring in new base, new asphalt, new curb and gutter, new storm sewer piping, and then the addition of the sidewalk, along with curb ramps. And then utilities, again, are still a little unknown on if the water main's gonna have to be replaced. As of now, it's scheduled for construction in 2027. It's not a given thing. You know, there's still a lot of hurdles that we have to get through for approvals and stuff from the DOT. It could slide into the following year, but as of now, it's set up for 2027. It would be closed down to through traffic, but one of the requirements would be is you'd still have access, you know, for the residents that are within that corridor, along with the elementary school and the emergency vehicles there. But there wouldn't be a designated detour route. You know, it's local traffic, so typically people can find their way around one way or another. So this is where I talk about, you know, the real estate impacts. Two different things, temporary limited easements, so that's where you get into the construction or grading items. 0.37 acres, so that's going beyond the public right-of-way into yards and things. There is a process that we have to go through. We have to hire somebody to go through the negotiations and come up, you know, with an offer of, you know, how much for grading into your lot. Very little fee. You can see that as 0.002 acres, so very small. That's just for the sidewalk itself, and there would have to be a fee associated with that to purchase. Again, that's somebody else that specializes in acquisitions that would be brought in. They would reach out to the residents. There would be meetings, there would be, dollars offered, and it'd be kind of a back and forth process to go through. So this particular project, we did apply for an application. Well, this is the second round that we did it, and luckily enough, we did get, it's called the STP Urban Program, Surface Transportation. And with this particular funding, the feds are covering 80% of the design and construction costs, with the remaining 20% the village. If we do, the underground with the sewer and water, that doesn't fit into this classification, so that's 100% funded by the municipality. And then the total project cost at this point estimated about 1.5 million. That could go up or down. That'll all be based on final quantities. Once all the plans are completed, then we put all those together. We put an engineer's estimate, then we can refine what that actual number's probably going to end up being. Schedule, so we're in this public involvement period. Started on February 12th, and that'll go through March 24th. There are some comment forms. Should you want to fill one of those out, you have the option of either emailing those to us. You can mail them in the mail, but there will be some contact information at the end. Preliminary plan started that process. Environmental document, that's kind of a big effort that we have to go through, so there's another report for that. In the DOT's world, they reference PS&E submittal, plan specs and estimate. As of now, that's scheduled for November 1st of this year. And then it would be bid out beginning of next year. It's a state letting for anticipation start date of in 2027. And then these are, if you do have any comments, either you can reach out to Gina or myself. It's in those packets. Our numbers are there, our emails are provided, and then that'll be up to March 24th. You have that option to send in any concerns that you may have. You can do it that way. One of the big thing that's usually comes up is special assessments. With this, we did the Wisconsin Street North project, I'd say 5-6 years ago. Same funding source. The only thing that was assessed as part of that project was the sewer lateral. And it was roughly about $2,000 per parcel. But if we do a lining, we're not going to do anything with your service, so there will be no special assessment. So there's a potential that there wouldn't be anything as part of the property owners for any financial assistance that you would have to.
Would we special assess 50% of the bid?
Nope.
No?
Yeah. We didn't do that with Wisconsin Street.
We did on 5th,
Yes.
but you don't think that's not here? Okay.
Just precedents, we didn't special assess with that one. So,
Can I ask what's driving all this? Because I spent about 4 years on the village board wrestling with this, and it never went anywhere. And it's been a long time since I wrestled with it, that it's now back here. I don't think it's a bad project or thing, but the village has tussled this around many times.
I can answer that, because with that 80-20 split from the grant that we got, now it's finally done it, because so the village taxpayers aren't on the hook for 100% of it. We got this grant that covers 80%, so the village taxpayers on for 20. So it's been on there for a long time. Now that we received the grant, that's why it's in front of you now.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's been on our CIP plan for.
Before I started.
Well, I've been on here since 2015, and I think we put it on shortly after I got on. We put it on our capital improvement plan.
It was on my capital.
Was it yours?
In 1980.
Okay, so then we just kept it on the plan when I came on here.
Yeah, we brushed it off.
And, but we've been waiting for this grant, to be honest, and that's a big grant. I mean, they're paying 80% of the project, so that's a big thing to the village.
And it is very helpful because you'd have to get your pitchforks and stuff out because you're gonna assess the village people, the kind of assessments we used to do, sewer, water,
Yep.
everything. I know that's good.
Any other questions for Kevin? Yes?
So I have a few questions. So
Sure.
is the sidewalk required as part of the grant? I
Yes.
just have never, okay, I assumed, but I didn't know
Yep.
for sure.
Yep.
And then in our letter, it said sections 4F and/or 6F, and I couldn't find anywhere where that was referenced. What is that?
So that's basically that environmental process that we have to go through. So since you got the school to the north and it's public, plus those ball fields, there's a special process that you have to go through, whether there's gonna be some kind of an impact, because you're doing grading limits into it, buying right away. That's what that's in refer to.
And then it says the 0.39 acres. Is that the whole way across the street? Like, what is, again, the letter was very not helpful.
Yeah, so that's across the whole project.
And so on either side necessarily? Okay.
Yeah, it's kind of it's all over, so it's not like it's a uniform 5 feet throughout the whole length. It's all based off of grades and slope intercept lines, whatever goes outside that right-of-way point.
And then the letter referenced during construction that the ball field traffic would still possibly be going through during construction, which is slightly terrifying. Would that be the case?
Probably on the weekends there'd be an opportunity to get in there.
It's 6 days.
Yeah,
6 days a week.
Yeah, more in the evenings than.
Okay.
yes.
Well, no, they have Sunday too.
They do, right.
have
For the special
challenge
needs kids, yeah.
We will have to work with the school district and kind of see if,
Because I mean, it's impossible now, so.
yeah, right, and it may be,
I can reach out to the school and see if they'll allow parking in their lot after hours.
yeah, yeah.
So that's what I can do.
In the school parking lot.
It's Brewster, not the sewer district.
Yeah, so I can ask the school district if they'd allow the boosters to park there during non-school hours.
But you could still have child drop off and pickup going down Monroe Street like it does now.
Summertime.
Oh, West America.
Yeah.
Summertime, there's no school. We don't build roads in the winter, so there's no school, so it wouldn't affect the school,
Yeah, you're gonna get done in the summertime?
certainly. Yeah, yep. Wisconsin was way bigger and we are done by school. I mean, that won't be an issue. It's 1,100 feet road build, so that shouldn't be an issue.
I would think 3 months, 3 months should be a good, typically that's usually for a time period for something like this, start to finish. So this is, the two different options that's up for consideration. And you can see, this is along the south side, so that orange line through here. With that configuration, we tried pushing, the road as far north as we could, because you can see the right-of-ways don't match up. We're trying to make that so it's not so abrupt as you're going eastbound from Monroe. And then this is the other option, putting it on the north side. And again, this green light here is the existing curb, and then this is the new curb. And it's proposed to be 34 feet from face of curb to face of curb. So you have 24 feet out there right now, so it's roughly about 10 feet wider is what you'd end up with. The configuration like that, to provide two-way traffic, probably looking at just providing parking on one side.
Okay, that was my other question. Is the plan still parking one side.
Yeah,
And it would just depend which way it ends up being.
yes.
Yeah.
Yep. You know, I think there's some things we can do to soften this, so it isn't, you know, a huge difference in deflections, whether making this radius bigger and moving the sidewalk on the backside. We're fortunate here because there is a little triangular piece of property that's still right away. We have to be somewhat concerned though, because with the school project, they put a little rain garden in there. And this outskirts here is where that overflow sits. It's on their property, but there's still gonna be some drainage coming this direction. We're looking at putting an area drain on the backside, so that at least it can get conveyed into the storm sewer versus going over the sidewalk and into the street. Not ideal for the winter time. But I think we could do some things so it doesn't look as bad offset wise to accommodate that. Should the village want to go that route.
Any other questions for Kevin?
Is this available online as well? These
Yes.
Proposed designs?
Yep, I think we have, if it isn't, we can get it put up there.
I can get you a copy after this meeting.
Oh, that'd be great, yeah.
You mentioned a 50-foot right-of-way. Is that the total right-of-way or measured from the center of the road either way?
So it's 50 feet in width.
50 feet width?
Yep.
And you can't really say from the center because it's not 25 from the center line this way and 25 this way, so it's the total width.
Yeah. That's what I thought.
So, I have an RV, it's not small, so like, when it gets closer to construction, would that be figured out, something that else get it out that summer, if I need a place for it to go?
Yeah, I mean, once we know who the contractor is gonna end up being, we bring them into the picture. If you need to get your, whether it's a boat or RV, they would work with you.
Okay.
Yep. Give you advance notice, for sure. To get that, you know, get them out so you're not stranded. Yep.
Would the curb style be one of the shallow type or a full curb on both sides?
Typically with these, we look at doing the barrier curb, so it's that 6-inch curb.
Yeah.
We're putting storm sewer in, try to convey the water, you know, instead of like instead of like 2 inches, 6 inches to work with, so it stays within the street, is usually the way it's done.
Any other questions for Kevin?
Is it possible to have different types of curbs on either side? For instance, with the ball field being on the north side and the parking being potentially on the north side and no parking on the south side, have the 6-inch on the south side and then maybe the kind of the gradual. So if people do want to kind of move up onto the boulevard a little bit for parking to get off of the roadway for some of those ball fields, is that a possibility?
It's a possibility, yeah. We'd have to work, I gotta make sure that the DOT's not gonna have any issues with that.
And
but-
yeah, that's what I was asking.
but something to take into consideration.
Anything else? All right, thanks, Kevin.
Okay, yeah, thank you.
Okay, so I have a motion to make. I move that the Village of North Hudson Public Works Committee recommend to the Village Board approval of the installation of a new sidewalk along the north side of Monroe Street North as part of the Monroe Street North Improvement Project, and authorize the project to proceed in accordance with the approved plans and specifications.
Well, second that.
Any discussion?
Just to confirm, north side is on the school side.
North side is on the school.
There you go.
And for those that get the north and south mixed up. All right. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
That passed. That takes me to item 5, chair update. I did want, while you guys are here, to know that I did ask our Public Safety Committee Chair, which is him, to put on a future agenda soon, a discussion about with the school district about our parking and the increase. Chief, do you remember the number of student increase we're getting this, when we get the
I
Holton
don't believe
school?
that's been announced yet.
Okay. So there's a percent increase, so even more traffic. And so I'm asking him and the chief to look at, on their agenda, public safety agenda, will the school help us with creating an entire off-ramp for people on that north side as well? So I don't know how that will go, or if it'll go anywhere, if they have any money. I'm assuming they're saving money by closing schools, so I'm hoping they will help us. But it's been a traffic problem down there for a long time, and would really like to figure out if public safety, because we need EMT vehicles to be able to get down that street during the school year. Some of our fire trucks are pretty big. And it just seems to me that adding that many more students is going to be even busier. So I'm just asking public safety to take a look to see if the school district will help us even more with parking down in that area and drop off and pick up. That's all I have for chair update. Item 6, engineer report. You got anything else, Kevin?
Just one thing, there's a new DOT funding program that just came out, and it's in relationship to small structures.
Small structures?
Small structures,
Are
so
you talking buildings?
nope, it's
Culverts.
just culverts.
Oh,
Yeah,
culverts, okay.
so they just released that, they have about $30 million in funds. Has to be greater than 6 feet, and it has to be less than 20.
We went through the list. We couldn't find any eligible criteria in the village. Gina and I did.
Okay,
I mean,
That's
the one
kinda what
maybe by
I-
Summers Landing, but that road's 40 feet. Well, I mean, we don't have anything that we can
okay,
find.
all right. That's kind of what I was coming up with too. It
Yep.
can't be part of the storm sewer system, so it's got to be separate, a separate structure.
Okay.
So whether it's a culvert or a box culvert or something like that. So we explored it, and that's kind of what I was coming up with too. It didn't look like there was anything within the village.
Okay. And that's available to all cities and
Yes.
municipalities?
Townships, all that.
Okay.
Yep.
All right, that takes us to item 7, director report. Any project updates, Matt?
Well, Kevin just stole my comment. We're not eligible for any of that money. Gina and I looked, we don't have any small structures, so, thanks, Kevin. Future agenda items, I guess I'm gonna turn to Kevin on this one and see what we need as far as agenda items for the Monroe Street project for next month. I don't have anything for.
Well, next month, what we just voted on is going to the board, so they
Yeah.
have to pass it as well.
Yep.
If they don't, it comes back to us and we go at it again.
So nothing for next month on the agenda unless it gets denied at the village board?
Yeah,
Yep.
it should be. Yep, it should be good.
Okay, that's good. And how's our salt supply doing? We
Good.
Good
Oh,
shape?
Plenty.
I suppose we'll probably get another one or two, huh? Those little snowstorms.
Oh, I said robins, so thought they said no more snow after the robins come back.
Really? All right. Takes us to item 8, future agenda items. Any
I've-
future?
Nothing right now.
I don't have anything either. And I don't know that we will until after your public safety meeting.
Yeah, I was gonna say after public safety and,
Then we might,
Yep.
okay. And if we do, toss it at us.
yes.
Okay. All right, the only other thing that I would say before we adjourn is, don't forget, April, the first Tuesday in April, what is that? We have elections coming. Well, that's a month off, but that is April 7th.
7th, yep.
7, yeah. So don't forget to vote. Thank you for those that came out and voted for school board members. Anybody hear how that went? I didn't
didn't
hear
hear.
how that went. Okay. Other than that then, item number 9, we are adjourned at 5:34 PM. Thank you.
Thanks everybody for showing up.
Yeah.